I made a white beer from a Cooper's Australian lager kit with a few more ingredients in it. Tasted absolutely fantastic. The colour was quite orange, not quite so white, but the taste was superb. What I'm going to try and do today is going to be a bit closer to a what you could call a white beer. I am using a dry malt extract. It's a wheat malt extract, not 100% wheat. It's just over 50% wheat malt extract, and the rest is a barley malt extract. 1 kilogram of that I'm putting into water, 7 litres of water. I'm going to make a small batch here just to see how it goes. Going to bring that to the boil and then add 10 grams of Hallertauer Hersbrucker hop. Boil that for 60 minutes. For the last 15 minutes, I'm going to add another 10 grams of the hop for a bit more aroma. And I'm also going to add 10 grams of crushed up coriander seed and 10 grams of chopped up sweet orange peel. Let's give it a go. Right, so that's 15 minutes before the end of the boil. So, time to add the extra ingredients. So, in goes the 10 grams of the Hallertauer Hersbrucker hops. In we go. And the crushed up coriander seed and the chopped up orange peel. I don't know if you saw my other video on the Weissbier. It's quite important that you only get the outer peel of the orange. You don't want the bitter white inner peel. So, all these are going in here for that last 15 minutes. I'm not going to bother with any copper fining, so I'm not going to add any protofloc or any Irish moss. Just going to let it clear on its own. So, we'll just wait that 15 minutes. And then, when that's all done, I'll transfer it to a fermentation bin, sieve it out, whether it be with a sieve or some cheesecloth, smothering cloth, that kind of thing. And then when it's cool enough, we can add our yeast. And it's the same yeast I used in the first video, the Brew Firm Blanche yeast. And this is going to add some flavour to it. This is going to be present in the beer that you're actually drinking. You want it to be cloudy, you want some of the yeast in there for the full flavour.
Now that the boil is over, we can take it off the heat and we're ready to cool it down.
What I'm doing here, I've got an ice bath and I'm stirring the hot wort round and round, just to make sure that you get the most efficient cooling as possible. Eventually what will happen is the water here, and it's happened already, this water here that I've put ice in is already actually lukewarm, so the efficiency of the cooling has been reduced already. So what I'm going to do is let some of that water out and replace it with cold water. Now let's just get the tap in here. There we go. If I can keep that water going, we'll get a nice efficient cooling.
And thanks to a combination of the thin metal of this pan and the small volume of liquid that I'm cooling, in only 7 minutes this is already cool enough for me to add the yeast. So I'm pouring our cooled wort into a sanitised brew bin through a sieve to collect all the solids. can see on the side of the brew bin here where I've marked off the 7 litre level, we're quite a bit short due to the evaporation in boiling, so I'm just going to make it up to the mark with some cold water from the tap. We put our temperature probe in, and that's about perfect. That's smack in the middle of where we want that. That's, if you look on the reading on the left here, 22 degrees C, perfect. So we can add our yeast now. Once again, like I said at the start of this video, it's the Brew Firm Blanche yeast. I really should have hydrated this yeast first in a little water, but I'm just being a bit slapdash here and pouring it straight in. And as I've mentioned before in other videos, very important now, once you've added your yeast, is to give this wort a good air rating with a very thorough stirring. And after a few minutes for that aeration, we can pop the lid on and move this to a place with a nice steady ambient temperature. So here we have the 5 litre mini keg of the white beer that I've been making. You can see the label on the keg there, Weiss Christmas. And the pedantic amongst you may argue that it's not a true Weiss beer because I've bunged in the orange peel and coriander. However, it's my beer, I'll call it what I like. So it's been in the keg for a couple of weeks, about a week with some priming sugar in a warm place, and then a week in a cool place. I'm not going to taste the beer in the keg. That's actually for a gift for somebody for Christmas. At the same time as kegging it, I did make one bottle here and primed it in a 500ml bottle with 1 Cooper's carbonation drop. And I'm going to taste that now, just make sure what I'm giving is a good beer. So we've got the beer in the bottle. I'm pouring it into the glass nice and steadily, but the last drop, well, not the last drop, the last few mil, I will swirl in the bottle to resuspend any of the settled out yeast and other goodies in the beer, and I will top up the glass with those to give it a nice cloudy Weiss or white beer or Bière Blanche appearance. So now for the all-important taste. Well, this beer certainly looks the part. If you've noticed that there is not so much a full pint in here anymore, it's because I've been having a little bit of a nightmare with audio, so I'm having to record this each time and make sure the audio's gone down. So, from what is left of the beer in the glass, I think you could see there's a nice white head on there, a little more pronounced at first before it started dwindling. It was quite a tight head on the beer, very small bubbles in that head. It's certainly looking the part, this wheat beer. Nice pale cloudy appearance, a nice nose to it. The coriander just coming through quite subtly there. Looking on the bright side, every cloud having a silver lining with doing the retakes, it was extremely cold at first when I tasted it, and not a lot of the flavour from the coriander and orange peel was coming through. But now that's come up a few degrees, it's really improved the beer. Those subtle flavours are coming through to the fore much better. And it really is a very good pint. Thirst quenching and interesting too. Very good. Very happy with that indeed. The carbonation levels there just perfect. That was from 1 Cooper's carbonation drop in the 500ml bottle. And the carbonation level is going to be very much the same in the mini keg. So, very good. Cheers.